We are very excited to make this video. Very exciting that we have reached 300,000 subscribers. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I can't believe there's that many people want to watch what we do.
I can't either. But it is really heartwarming to know that many people want to help us celebrate Appalachia.
It is.
It's really, really encouraging. So our journey for celebrating Appalachia actually started way back in 2008 when we started a blog, Blind Pig and the Acorn. And so that was really when we started. And some of you have been with us since then. Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm.
I know Papa Ed Ammons has been, and I know there's probably others too. So thank you so much. Thank all of you for your support. You've let us live our dream of celebrating Appalachia full time.
Mm-hmm.
And we are just beyond blessed to be able to do that. But for the YouTube channel, we started actually in, I wrote down the date, so the exact day, I knew the year, but July 26, 2020. Seems like it was just yesterday, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I can't believe it's been that long already.
It's been that long. It has been. And we were very fortunate when we started the channel because we had already had the Blind Pig and the Acorn for so long. We kind of already had like a following that followed us here to YouTube. So we become monetized pretty quickly, mm-hmm. which was really, really nice and a blessing. Mm-hmm. And so that was July of 2020. By July of 2021, I was able to leave my full-time job and come home to do this full-time, which was amazing. It was so wonderful. Mm-hmm. And then even more wonderful was that in August of 2023, mm-hmm. Matt was able to come home and help me do this full-time. Mm-hmm. So we have been so blessed, and again, it's only because of you that we have been, so thank you so much. Of course, as you might imagine, Matt and I, like he was saying, it just goes by so fast. You think, it just seems like I've just been doing this for about a year, maybe, or 2 years or something. I think 2020, really? Has it been that long ago? Or maybe I'll read a comment from someone and they'll say, my mom and I have been watching you for years. And I think, really, years? And then I think, oh yeah, it is years. It's almost like I want to correct them and be like, well, I've not been doing it that long. You must have me confused with somebody else. But they don't, because we have been doing it that long. So when we went back and looked, I knew the very first video I ever did, and me and Matt had talked about this. We went through, I don't know, many weeks of talking about whether or not we should try this back then in 2020. Of course, the pandemic changed everybody's lives, and I got to work from home. I was very, very fortunate. Matt he was what did they call you in those days? What do you call it, like a person that they needed.
Essential worker.
Essential worker, so mm-hmm. he just kept working. And I got to work from home, which was wonderful. But during that time, being at home, I realized, because it had been so long since I'd been at home like that, and of course I was still working, but it's different than going to your office, going somewhere. I realized this is what I love, being with my family, being able to cook every day, do all the things I want to do for my family. In those days, Corey was not married yet. She was still at home, and yes, her and Katie were grown, but I still enjoy doing for them. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so Matt and I started talking about, could we start doing videos? And one of the reasons was because, and we have some videos where we talk about this stuff, so I will put like a link in the description below there's one we talk about our debt-free journey. That was one thing that kind of led us to YouTube. And then also I have a playlist of like creator questions, so if you're interested in that, I'll link to that. But anyway, we had got our first step of the debt-free journey was to get rid of the TV. We had, what did we have, DirecTV? I think like a satellite.
Yeah, I think so.
And then we just started watching a lot of YouTube. We had to have the internet for the blog and all the other stuff that I did, so we still had the internet service. So Matt started watching a lot of YouTube, and he found a lot of people he loved, and then I found some people I loved, and then we quickly realized, well, these people don't leave every day and go to work like we do. Some of them, yeah, some of them do, some of them don't. So that's when we first found out about that you could become part of like a YouTube creator and become part of their program to where you actually earned money. So anyway, in the weeks leading up to us deciding to do that, we thought of all kinds of different names and different things of what we might call the channel, but we really went back to the Blind Pig and the Acorn to when I first started the blog, and our endeavor there was to celebrate Appalachia. That was, you can go back and read like even the very first blog post that I wrote way back in 2008, and that's what it was. So that's how we come up with the name, and it's served us well, I think, because we really do want to celebrate all the aspects of Appalachia. So it was just really a blessing, though, after we started, to see how many people that resonated with. It was kind of the same as on the Blind Pig and the Acorn, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You go ahead.
No,
I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. But people that just kind of would tell you like their story of, that's how my grandmother and my grandfather was, or that's how we live, but nobody never really recognizes it. Those kind of things. So we found that was the same with this channel. It resonated just like the Blind Pig and the Acorn did, which was really wonderful. The thing with YouTube was, because it's such a big platform, we reached way more people than we do with the blog, where somebody has to stumble on it. Somebody might be on YouTube searching for what, I don't know.
Just all kinds of stuff, and then they just happen to see the thumbnail of your video, and then it might intrigue them, and then
Yeah.
they click on it and watch it, and then they might want to watch another one, and
Right.
then before you know it, they'll subscribe.
So YouTube really is good at that, serving up, and at knowing kind of what your likes are. For Matt, he watches a lot of YouTube, and so on your homepage there, there'll be all, there might be hunting or knife stuff or whatever, just because they know that's what he's actually watched in the past. So when we went back, though, and looked at the very first video that we ever made, that was what I was trying to get to, and I went down that squirrel trail. But I thought, well, now we've decided we're going to do it, so how am I going to do it? What am I going to talk about? And I was just thinking, and then it's once you decide, I had the same exact feeling way back in 2008 when I did the blog. I was like, okay, now I've done this, what do I do? So it's like me and Matt have decided. I've got the channel, already signed up with YouTube and all that. Now what do I do? What do I do? So I remember I went and thought, I wonder if I could, thinking about the people that inspire me about Appalachia. Well, one of them is John Paris, and he wrote predominantly about the mountains of western North Carolina, but a lot of what he wrote, really that's all he wrote about. But it could be the same culture that's in Kentucky, West Virginia, North Georgia, wherever. Anyway, I went and read something of his about creativity, and then I thought that's what I want to talk about in my first video. So I did. It was Granny Donaldson, and it was really, I'd read it before, but it really stuck out to me because she had a connection to Brasstown because of the folk school, and at that time, of course, I was still working at the folk school. And then also, and some of her handiwork, her handcraft work, she was a crocheter and done fiber arts, and they were being showcased in the History Center, so there was that. And then there was the creativity that, I seen Granny doing my whole life. And I just thought, that's it, that's what I'm going to talk about. So that was my very first video. I'll link to that in the description below. And I say my very first video, me and Matt were both in this together, but again, he was working full-time outside of the house. And so in those early videos, a lot of it is just me. And we didn't publish videos near as often as we do today either. So a lot of it was just me talking about this or that. And gradually over time, Matt showed up more in the videos, especially like on the weekends when we'd be out making a garden. And then, of course, once he was here full time, he showed up in most of them in some form or another.
He might just be walking through to get something to eat.
Yeah, he might just have come unfed. So I will link to that very first video, though, if you missed it and you'd like to go back and see it. And thinking about all the videos we've done, it's hard to believe we have done 1,836 videos.
Golly, really?
We have uploaded. That many videos have been uploaded to YouTube. It's crazy on our channel. And most of the ones, if you've never watched us before and you just stumbled onto this video, we do a lot talking about making a garden. That's a lot of it. A lot about food, Appalachian food ways. Since me and Matt started the channel, myself and Jim Casta wrote a cookbook, so that's been exciting too. And then also vocabulary. I'm plumb foolish about the way people speak and the words and the phrases that are used in the Appalachian Mountains. So a lot of videos are about that. after we'd been going for a while, another thing that we started was in August 20th, I went back and looked, of 2021, so we had only been going about a year, was I did want to offer something else. But if you're a YouTube creator, you know this, it's more than just, it is a full-time job, because it's not just filming the videos like me and Matt are doing right now. Now, this will be an easy one to edit, but you have to edit the videos. So especially like cooking or the ones where we're working in the garden, then you got to spend all the time editing those. And sometimes we film with Matt's phone, with my camera. What else do we have?
Your phone.
My phone. We have the big camera, we call it.
Yeah, the big camera that we don't use much because it's
Complicated.
It's a little smarter than we are.
Yeah. So anyway, you got to put all those pieces together, and you got to make sure that they're all right. And then, of course, there's the managing the channel. And from the very beginning, we just really thought it was important to communicate with people that watch our videos. So we spend a lot of time answering comments.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I mean, that's as important as making the video itself, because, you know, that's, why else would you be doing it if you don't want people to watch it and people to like it? So if they have the option to comment or make a comment about it, then you should read them.
yeah.
You know, some channels probably get so many that they can't, and we get quite a few, but it's, you know, it's just important, we think, to read through them all.
And try to communicate. We can't answer back every one, but we try to answer a lot of them, you know, especially questions. We try to answer those,
Right.
but we even try to comment back to people, you know. I figure we may not get you every day, but maybe we get you once a week or a month or something if you're somebody that follows us all the time.
It's funny for me, you know, because I'll help her answer comments some. She does probably more than I do. But I do it usually 6:30 in the morning, because that's when my bandwidth is at its highest.
Yeah.
And it just goes down from there. So that's generally when I do it. And me and her together will do it at that time. But then throughout the day, with all those many videos that we've got now, there's just comments coming in all the time. And then later on in the day, it's usually her doing more of them than me.
So all that to say, when we were in August of 2021, we were trying to think of another video, but we were trying to think of an easy video. What could we do that would be something that would be not take much time, would kind of be easy thinking wise, is what we were, you know, thinking out the storyline, or not really the storyline, just the video. And then also would be easy to edit. So I'm just a voracious reader. I always have been since I was a little girl. Just read one, and I love fiction. So just one book right after the other. So I thought, wonder if I could read a book. Wonder if I could do that. So that's when I started my weekly Friday reading. And that was in, not sure now if I started on a Friday to begin with, but somehow I quickly ended up, it's always on a Friday. Seems like maybe I did though, did I?
I think you did.
So. Anyway. And so I started doing that, and we've read several books since then.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not our most popular video at all. It doesn't get the most views. Each week it's the lowest on the totem pole, the very lowest one. But the people that listen to those books just really, really enjoy it. And what we do, they're books set in Appalachia or about Appalachia, and so I read, and then I talk about whatever I read that day and kind of share my stories or my thoughts, or maybe if it was a piece of Appalachian culture, like folklore or something, whether or not my family observed that or not. You know, just kind of an overview of what we read. And I really enjoy it, and the people that listen really enjoy it. It's just not, I understand a lot of people don't have time to just listen to somebody read, you know, it's like an audio book. But even though those are our least popular as far as the algorithm, mm-hmm. They are really enjoyable, and I know the people that listen to them really look forward to them. So that's been a blessing too. And the very first one was Mountain Path, a book by Harriet Simpson Arnaud, which I really love. And it's a really beautiful book. It doesn't have the happiest ending, but it is a beautifully, beautifully written book. And I find the culture and the speech and all that to be accurate, if you will, for Appalachia. So we really enjoyed that one. Now, thinking about the videos over those course, of course we're not going to go over all of them. I just want to mention that first one. And then our most popular video is an Appalachian vocabulary test that I gave to Katie and Corey, our daughters. And that's by far the most popular one on our whole channel. I think it's almost at 4 million views, which is crazy.
It is.
It's just crazy. Right under that one, a good bit under that one though, is the cornbread. And it's funny the way YouTube works. Like I did the cornbread video in November of that first year, and it wasn't until like January of the following year, so January 2021, that it kind of went viral. And that was really our first month to be monetized. That pushed us over the top. Was that? But it took those months. I don't know why it took that. And then some other popular ones are like an Appalachian breakfast, an Appalachian supper, and then also a cube steak video that I did, which is really interesting because it's again been several years since I did it, and it's the way of YouTube. It has suddenly in the last 2 days had a little resurgence, and so it's like in the last 48 hours it's one of our top videos, even though we did it many years ago now. Really interesting.
Yes.
So when you think about, Matt, the videos that we've done, which are your maybe your favorite type, or maybe you have a favorite video, I don't know. Or maybe just your favorite type that we do. What would be your thing? and Matt's done along with that. I mean, there's more than just the gardening and the food and the vocabulary. Because like Matt's done ones about his knives and about his, what do you call it, your carry bag or whatever you call it, and things like that.
I don't know. I think my favorite, the type of video would be this is going to sound crazy, but bear with me. Like the month videos that we do.
Like the day in the life, yeah.
Yeah, but is it a day in the life?
Well, it was before. This year our goal was to do one every month.
Right.
And we have. So it is a month. Right now it's a monthly.
Right.
Monthly.
Anyway, that's I kind of like those just simply because, for one thing, it's the filming of it, the pressure to get it done is off of you some because
you've got a whole month.
Got a whole month to do it, even though we get 15, 20 days into the month and realize we don't have any footage sometimes, but still, it gives you a little bit of time, and that time gives you a little bit of time to think.
Yeah.
And what would look good in it, what would be cool in it, and gives you time to think about getting good video footage. So those are kind of my favorites, and then to go back and watch them, and then because every time I watch one of them, and I don't watch much of our stuff, if you can imagine that. Mostly because I just don't like to watch myself.
Yeah,
but
I know.
Anyway,
I know the feeling. Yeah.
But when you do go back and watch one of those month videos, day in life videos, whatever you call them now, you see stuff you forgot, and then seeing all of it put together. Strung out across a month long, it's kind of interesting to me because you can't remember all of it filming it, or I can't.
Yeah.
And I just think that's kind of cool because you get a little bit of remembrance. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And then if you go back 2 or 3 years and see some of those, you really forget about what was going on, and then you actually can look around the place here and things have changed.
Things have changed.
And
yeah.
To me, it's just kind of interesting.
I think our very first one of those, actually, right here where we're sitting, like my thumbnail, was Thomas dumping wood right here. So he will never dump wood right here again.
No.
He won't. He'll have to dump it somewhere else at the garden, I guess. But I like those videos too because they're very labor intensive to create, but they're so fun because you're sharing. I know it is a true glimpse of our life here in Appalachia. Little pieces of food and pieces of the scenery, pieces of Matt working or maybe going in the woods. I try to always include music because music is such an important part of my family's life, thinking about Paul and the girls and me too. And so I always try to include some of that. Maybe if I'm lucky, I can get a little clip of Granny. So it's just a real peek into our daily lives. It really is.
And it's the funny thing about it is that's exactly how we do every day, how we live
Yeah,
every
that's
day, and
our
that's how
lives.
we always did back before we filmed
Oh yeah,
all of
before
this.
it's the same.
What you're seeing in these films is exactly what we did
Yeah.
20, 25 years ago,
Yeah.
and always will do as long as
Yeah.
we're able, you know.
And since we started the Blind Pig and the Acorn so long ago, I always said I wanted, one of my endeavors was to show the real Appalachia. Now, of course, somebody always has to correct me and say Appalachia has problems. Of course they do. Of course the Appalachian Mountains has problems, just like everybody else does all over the world. But we also have a lot of goodness. But oftentimes, I call it a cardboard cutout, is held up as representation of people of Appalachia, and it's just not true. It's just not how it is. And everybody that lives in Appalachia don't live like me and Matt either. That's not true. I can't say that either.
Mm-hmm.
That's certainly true. But those videos that Matt's talking about certainly do give a real peek into the goodness and the good life we feel like we live here in Appalachia, true day-to-day life. So I really, really like those. Of course, I love the gardening ones because that's just near and dear to my heart. Making a garden is just something I love so much. What about ones you don't like? Is there any, or maybe one you wish we hadn't done or something like that?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I never even give it any thought as far as something that I wish we hadn't done or ones I don't like. I mean, I don't dislike any of them. Do you?
No, I have one thing I'll say about that, but it is funny. In some of our videos, especially when Matt first started being on camera more, people would tease that, or not tease, some people was mean about it, but that Matt didn't really want to be there. And we still get those sometimes. I'm like, yeah, he would really rather go back to a public job.
Yeah,
he really
yeah.
would. No, never.
I guess that's just my
But
demeanor.
it's just his demeanor. He just has a dry personality, a dry humor.
We get whole lots of comments telling me to blink
Yeah,
twice if I'm being held against my will.
Those are funny. Those are funny.
But I get to stay home every day and be with the family, and what work I do is for the family around the home, and my goodness, who in the world would not want to do that?
No.
As opposed to, going out and having to work
Yeah.
for somebody else in the idiotic system.
Yeah, right.
So, and I, the last couple of jobs I had was part of that system that I just despise it.
Yeah.
I had to do it, and I was grateful to have a job and be able to provide and to do that.
Yeah.
But I did not like having to be part of something that I deemed to be pretty much ignorant.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. That's just the truth of it. And now I don't have to be. And yeah, I'm quite happy where I am and what I do.
Right. Matt just is not as animated as I
I'm
am.
just, I guess,
That's
just a
him.
FUD. I don't know.
No,
I
you're
don't
not.
mean to be, and that's
No.
not my intention.
Anyway, but there you heard it from the horse's mouth. There's
Yeah.
not a video he didn't like.
Right.
Yeah. So really, there's not one I didn't like either. Now, I do look back at some of those beginning ones and think, oh my, I like Matt talking about not wanting to watch yourself. Not that I'm good now, but I think, oh my Lord. It's like I was trying to be so stilted in what I said. I just don't sound natural. I just sound like I'm reading out, I don't know, not even like I'm reading out of a book, more like I'm in front of the class trying to put on my speech for the, ninth grade English class or something.
Putting on ours.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. Anyway, but our most popular video, this is a great example of how things like that happen. Now, I don't wish that I could go back and change it because it's our most popular video, and we still, as far as earning money, we still earn money from it till today.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like a few things in it that I wish I could change. One of the things is I didn't think about it. It was kind of like a spur of the moment thing. I wanted to give Katie and Corey a test. We've been doing Appalachian vocabulary test on the blog since pretty much the beginning, like once a month. So that's where the idea come from for it. But I wish I had put the words on the screen because people can't understand us well. So they didn't understand the words we were saying because of our accent. So I wish I'd done that. Also, at the very beginning, that was like sometimes, all of you who follow us a lot, like sometimes we capture things that wasn't supposed to be in the video and I just leave it. Like maybe it's after Matt and I have been working in the garden and we finish our little popsicle talk where we talk to you, and then we say thank you, for dropping by, whatever, and then so we're done with the video, but then me and him just sit here and talk. And sometimes I leave that in if I think it's interesting or whatever. So the same thing with that video. At the very beginning, when I was trying to get them to settle down and be serious and let's get on with it, there was a spider web, because it was in the summer, just floating through the air, and it had a spider on it. And Corey, just being silly, was saying that she was afraid of it and for Katie to move it. So, or just, she wasn't asking Katie to move it, I don't think. She just saying she's afraid of it. Well, to begin with, it was just a little tiny spider. She wasn't really afraid of it. But anyway, they were just being silly. Well, then Katie gets up and says she'd take care of it. And what she did was, of course, you can't see off camera, she just took the web, because it was floating through the air, and just moved it over and let it go. And that was it. So I just thought that was funny, so I left it in there. Oh my goodness, the comments that, you know, because if a video gets that many views, you're going to have a lot of people who have negative opinions about you. It's not just your fans or your followers, but so many people so upset that Katie killed the spider, you know, which she didn't technically kill the spider, but of course they couldn't see that part. Anyway, so in one way I think, gosh, if I just took that spider part out. But then the unique thing about YouTube is, after that, of course, that was so popular, we've done, several more videos. I tested all three of y'all. Corey and Katie tested me. We've done several, I guess, iterations of that little video. And in those, I always put the words on the screen, and there was no spiders. And they're not as popular. So there you go. So sometimes it's something like that, you know, maybe the craziness of that intro keeps people watching it. I don't know. I don't know if that's what it is or not, but
I don't know either, but
I can't go back in time and change it anyway. But when I first did it, I was like, why did I leave that part in there about the spider? So many people complained about it. But then again, that's our most popular video, so by far.
And filming stuff that's just impromptu as it happened and unaltered that's as truth as you can get, no matter what it is.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true. That part's true too. So now we've kind of talked about where we come from and our channel, and we didn't mention in the beginning, I will say, we do have another channel, Blind Pig and the Acorn YouTube channel, which is only my family's music, and we used it for the blog since back in 2008, and Paul, my brother, really runs it today, manages it, and does a fantastic job on it. But then, now that we've talked about all that, think about the future. What's the future plans, Matt?
I'm going back to work.
Because you're so disgusted with these videos.
I don't know. I mean,
keep on keeping on.
Just keep doing what we're doing, and maybe, you know, start doing something a little different here and there. But yeah, just keep doing what we're doing. I mean, this is the way we live, and this is what we do.
Yeah.
And you know.
Yeah, it's the great thing, I guess, about the type of YouTube channel that we have is that we're just videoing our lives.
Yeah, we don't have to we don't have to struggle a great deal to try to figure out what to come up with. We just film what we was already going to do anyway.
Right.
You know.
And yeah.
That's kind of a blessing, because you know, you just don't have to struggle and think, well, what kind of video are we going to do today? Our problem is we don't struggle with what to do. We struggle with getting it done on time and getting it done, you know, ahead of something else, in other words.
Yeah, we lead a very busy life. Even though it's just right here, just right here at our house, it's a busy life.
Yeah.
A very blessed, enjoyable life, too.
Yeah,
but we're just people that stay busy. So, yeah, that's the good thing about it, is that we're just videoing what we do. And both of us are very happy, even though Matt may need to blink at you or something.
Yeah.
Both of us are very happy with our lives, so
Absolutely.
we're not gonna change that kind of stuff unless the good Lord changes it.
I am very happy with my life.
Good boy. I'll quit stabbing you in the side now.
I love what I do.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. So more of the same for sure. And then, like Matt said, maybe we want to go camping, things like that. But so far, you know, Matt's working hindered us for a while. Which we've got no excuse now. It's 3 years later.
Yeah.
But and then Miss Cindy being sick and Granny being sick, and then, you know, if we went now, we'd want to take the grandsons, and they're just kind of too little for camping, unless somebody, especially Woodrow's not walking, unless somebody's just going to hold him the whole entire time. Or you could take a playpen. I know there's all kinds of ways you could do it, but Hopefully this time next year they'll be big enough just to romp and go and be part of it.
I'd like to go camping. We used to camp
We used to camp a
some, and
lot.
then I used to camp.
Well, Matt used to camp a
tremendous
whole
amount
lot, but we
when I
used
was
to
young.
camp fairly often, at least once or twice a summer when the girls were little.
And I've not
But we've
camped
not in
in
years.
a long time.
Yeah, we've not.
I'm thinking about sleeping in the backyard just to get kind of back in the.
See if you can handle it.
Yeah,
See how tough you are.
yeah. I may not. I may find out I ain't near tough as I thought I was.
Well, anyway, there's things like that we want to do, but as far as our day-to-day videos, our plans are just to keep on keeping on, and we hope that you'll keep on coming by, stopping by to help us celebrate Appalachia like you have been this whole time. We really, really appreciate each of you. And I can't believe we got to 300,000.
Me either.
And you drank all your tomato juice. I was gonna. Oh, you got a little.
I saved a little.
Okay, cheers to the tomato juice. Very good.
We done?
We're done.
Are we?
Yeah.
I had more to say.
I will go ahead and say it.
Not now. I'm mad. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
I'm sorry.
I had 3 more blinks to do before we got off.
You're just gonna send a subliminal message to somebody to come help you.
Morse code to Natasha.
Oh, well, we hadn't heard about Natasha lately. Thought she'd disappeared. She's back around.
Please help me.
I think we're gonna have a thunderstorm. Look up there.
I hope we do.
Maybe cool something.
If it does, I want to run down here and get under this shed.
Oh, and hear
listen,
it.
And also check for leaks as well. But
Yeah.
I just want to sit under here and
Yeah.
check it out.
You could bring your hammock down here and stretch it out and take a nap.
I have thought about that.
You know right now what we got to do though.
What?
Go to the garden.
Not in the heat of the day. It's only 97.8.
I could go out and put on different shoes and maybe a different shirt.
Yeah, I'm gonna put on different shoes too. I just scrubbed these yesterday or the day before, and I don't want to get them dirty.
I do think we'll have a thunderstorm though.
I hope so. I used to put the lawnmower under here already.
I know, I was going to put it back in the basement and then I thought, hey, I'm just going to push it under the shed.
So it's begun.
It's begun, yeah.
I'm piling under here
Hey,
before
I
I
thought
get done.
that was supposed to go in here.
Well, I ain't done working in here yet.
Well, I can move it back to the basement. It just had so much grass all over it. I just thought, I'm just going to push it in there.
You thought to yourself,
I'm going to junk up
there's
Matt's
a
shed.
space, I got to put something in it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. I thought they were going to go in here though.
They are, but I mean, I'll have to move it out to keep working under here is what I'm getting at.
Well, I'll move it out for you.
No, it's fine. Just be sure that's all that gets put in here under penalty of law.
Okay. You're going to put up a notice prohibited?
There will be placards upon this building, and all those who live here should heed them.
Will be prosecuted to the full extent of the Matthew Presley law.
That is correct. I will bring down the hammer upon those who disrespect the law of the barn.
Yeah.
Let's go. Got stuff to do.
I know.